This video is all about printing because not only can you print hard copies off of a Mac, which you would expect, there's a lot of options to print what are called soft copies, meaning I can take something and print it to an electronic file that I can then email or send to somebody and not necessarily have to print it and take it to them or fax it. So the standard print menu within any application can be accessed through the file menu. It's almost always the last option in the file menu, print, or it always can be launched with the keyboard command, Command P. So we'll do that. And this is the standard little, I guess, miniature print menu that comes up no matter the application. So if I'm printing out an email, a web page, a slide, a picture, anything on my Mac, I'm going to get these options. And then when I hit this little arrow here, that will expand, and depending on the application, I will get additional options for, in this case in Pages, things like changing the layout, how many pages I want per sheet, whether or not I want to put a border on it. Those options would not necessarily be available in another application. And I also have the PDF button down here that we're getting ready to go through. So that's what the print menu looks like in its smaller mode and its expanded mode. And again, the expanded mode will differ based on the application. So if I want to print directly to a printer, I just come right here, choose the printer either connected directly to my Mac or on my network, and I print. I'm good to go. And I have options here under presets for standard or last use settings, and I can change the type of paper that I'm using in my printer. But when I want to print something to a soft copy or an electronic copy, I have multiple options here under the PDF drop down, PDF standing for portable document format. So portable document format being I want to create this and put it into a format that when I send it to someone else, no matter what type of computer they have, they're generally going to be able to open and view it. So the first option is to open that PDF in preview. So I'm not yet saving it or printing it. I want to open it in preview. Why would I want to do this? Well, if I have something and I want to make the highest possible rendering, the best quality portable document format that I can, on your Mac you use the preview application to do that. So when I hit open PDF and preview, that will open up preview of my newsletter, and if I zoom down here you'll take a look at it, and now what I can do is go up here to the file menu and save a copy of this anywhere that I want on my Mac. So I'm going to save this to my home folder in my For Training, and we're going to call this, we'll just erase this and we'll call this best version of my newsletter. We'll take away the quotes. So we're saving this as a PDF and we're calling it best version of my newsletter, and we hit save. So now I have that on my Mac. I've got it named as best version of my newsletter, and you see the little PDF icon right here. I can now leave that as it is and be done, or I can start to work with this newsletter and email it to someone else. So that's the first option, is to open it in preview. We go back to the print menu. The next option is just to save it as a PDF. This is effectively doing the same thing that we just did, but instead of running it through preview, we're just going to save it as a PDF right here from this option, and I could go right back to where I was before in the For Training folder in Finder, and I could save a standard version of my newsletter. Alright, so now I'm saving just a standard version. It may not necessarily be quite as high of a quality. We go back into the print menu, work our way down. Save as PostScript. PostScript is just a different type of portable document format. I can fax a PDF. I have a fax machine hooked right up to my Mac. I can compress this PDF. So if this is a PDF or going to be a PDF with a lot of graphics in it, a lot of pictures in it, it's going to be a big file, and that might make it difficult to email. So if I'm okay with a slightly less quality version, then I can compress the PDF, and that will take me back to the option to save it somewhere. So I could go to my standard home folder, go right back into For Training, and you'll notice I had already saved before I started a compressed version of the newsletter. So that is an option. Go back to the print menu, and the other options that are available here working around PDFs are to mail the PDF. If I hit mail, that's going to start an email for me automatically and embed that right into the email. Now it looks like right here that it's just kind of embedded it in there like that, but if I right click on top of that and choose view as icon, you will notice that there we go. We've got a PDF in the email. It's a 1.4 megabyte file, which is typically small enough for you to be able to email, but at that point you just type in email address and subject, and if you want to type something into your email, you can click and then hit your left arrow, hit return a few times there at the beginning of that line, move back up and start typing. So now I've got an attachment to that email with the PDF. We go right back over here to the My Newsletter and bring back up the print menu, the last couple of options that are available here for PDF. I can save that PDF to iPhoto if I want to work with it in iPhoto, and then I can save it to Web Receipts folder. This is actually better for when you're shopping online and you're doing order confirmation pages or something like that, or anything really that you buy online and you want to keep all of your online receipts in the same folder. You've got a Web Receipts folder in Finder. It's within the Documents folder. Everything can be put there, and then you can go search that folder, and we have some training on that. This option would only be available if you have this third-party software called Evernote available to you. So those are all the options that you have to create soft copies, electronic copies. If we go right back into Finder and we go into this For Training folder where we have been saving these, you will notice over here, if we take this and slim it down just a little bit, the best version of my newsletter is 1.5 meg, and the standard version of my newsletter is also the same size. So in this case, the best size, or I'm sorry, the best version and the standard version turned out to be the same, and that will happen sometimes. But the more graphics and pictures that you have, typically what you'll find is that the best version will be a bigger file size. Then we have the compressed newsletter that actually is about, if you look at that, it's about 1/6 or so of the size of the standard and best version. So it won't be quite as clear, and the graphics won't look quite as good. But if I have several of these to send to someone, now I've got a much smaller file size to work with. So that's how I create multiple electronic type copies. I'm printing soft copies in addition to printing hard copies on my Mac.